What's going on in Los Angeles is a representation of the intellectual rot that the West has been under for decades, arguably actually going actually more than 100 years. And I've talked about this quite a bit before in previous videos, but the one of the symptoms of this intellectual rot, I mean, there's a lot of symptoms to it, but one of them is the failure to enforce the law when it's not politically convenient. And that's how we got as bad as we are now. Okay. You see the rioting that is going on, the quote unquote mostly peaceful rioting, where there is video of essentially attempted murder and firing of weapons. I mean, they're fireworks, but these are actually very powerful fireworks. They're throwing small boulders into car windshields. They're setting vehicles on fire. They're stopping vehicles and vandalizing them and setting them on fire. They're looting stores in the area. It's evil. These are acts of evil. It's not just immoral, they are evil. They are violating the rights of people. They're violating the shop owner's property, the extension of himself. The taxi cab driver, his property has been destroyed. Insurance companies are going to have to make up the difference. Yes, insurance is a good business, but they're going to have to increase the rates on everybody else because Los Angeles, apparently, like a lot of other blue cities, is a high risk area. So if you want to get insurance in Los Angeles after something like this, I mean, we saw what happened with the Palisades fire. Insurance is going to be very expensive in Los Angeles. That's just a segue. That's just another issue. But let's talk about the intellectual rot. This country was founded during the height of the Renaissance. It was founded during the Age of Enlightenment, where Thomas Jefferson got a lot of his influence from John Locke and Montesquieu, and they got their influence. The entire Renaissance got its influence from Aristotle. The idea that man is rational, he is capable of his own self-efficacy, that man can determine himself. So you have in the Bill of Rights or the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal. Man has the right to pursue happiness. That's a summary of the words. It doesn't exactly say that. The idea is self-determination, of individual self-determination. The first 8 amendments of our Constitution protects the individual from the government. So the idea is that you are equal before the law and you can pursue whatever you need to pursue, that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor for better or for worse. The philosophy that has dominated the West is from Germany. It's German nihilism. It comes from Immanuel Kant, Fichte, Hegel, and Karl Marx, amongst others. And this nihilism, this like racial stuff, the class warfare, group mentalities of transgender, ideas, and the 26 genders, all that stuff. That each one of these has a collectivized consciousness, and that there aren't any individuals. It's just you have people who are quote unquote privileged, and they feel like they're just and committing evil acts against people because that they're not privileged. And then this plays very much into Marxism too, by the way. Essentially, a lot of these people are communists, and I'm not just exaggerating. I'm serious. They are communists, and Matt Bracken, I saw a clip from Alex Jones. He is correct. They are also traitors. Now, politically, that's the intellectual part. Politically, this is about states like California bringing in millions of illegals to be counted in the census so they get representation that is not legitimate. So this is about overthrowing our government. This is about subverting the country with people who believe in Marxism, that are anti-individualism. These are invaders. These are people protecting invaders. These are acts of treason. These people are traitors. The NGOs that are funding this stuff, because you have supplies, gas masks, pallets of bricks. This stuff costs money. So we have racketeering that's going on. We have politicians and we have a quote unquote news media. Really, these are propaganda outlets. This is Mockingbird media. And this is all about declaring war on the United States. So in my mind, this is very clear. Okay. Now, I have a lot of criticisms for the right as well. In fact, philosophically, the right makes some of the same mistakes that the left does. They buy into some of the same dialect. They're probably not aware of it. But nonetheless, this is an insurrection against the United States. These are acts of treason. These are acts of evil. And these people, regardless of how they feel, I mean, they may feel angry and may feel righteous, they certainly do not have the right to do what they are doing, and they are protecting foreign enemies of this country. Okay? So I am not exaggerating. These are not exaggerations. In fact, these are probably erring on the side of understatements. So that's my view on the understanding of what is going on in Los Angeles. And I agree with Matt Bracken and Alex Jones and the General Flynn and others, by the way. There's a lot of other people that have predicted this. I've had an idea that this was going to happen independently. It doesn't surprise me. You know that the establishment was going to do something when Trump was in office. This was planned. This is going to go through the summer. They're going to escalate this, and they're going to have this go nationwide. So make sure that you keep your head on straight. Don't get trapped by these people. Use your head. Think. This country, the people in this country really need to think. That's the only way out of this, and accountability. So I'm going to leave it at that. I can rant about this for a long time. I'm going to leave it at that, but just remember that philosophically, where these people are coming from and what is wrong with it and why it is not compatible with this country.